Yamuna Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Jaya Godanandana Yamuna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Yo Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Kashtotra Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Nanda Koti Vaishnava ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text number 27. Asevayam prakritirgunanam.
Asevayayam prakritirgunanam.
Asevayam prakritirgunanam.
Asevayayam prakritirgunanam.
Jnanena vairagya vibrum. Jnanena vairagya vijrumbitena.
Jnanena vairagya vijrumbitena.
Jnanena vairagya vijrumbitena.
Jnanena vairagya vijrumbitena.
Yogena mayyarpitaya cha bhaktyaya.
Yogena mayyarpitaya bhaktyaya.
Yogena mayyarpitaya cha bhaktyaya.
Yogena mayyarpitaya cha bhaktyaya.
Mam pratyag atmanam iha varnuthe.
Mam
pratyag atmanam iha varnuthe. So, translation and purport by His Holiness Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thus, by not engaging in service of the moods of the material nature, but by developing Krishna consciousness, knowledge in renunciation, and by practicing yoga, in which the mind is fixed in devotional service unto me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one achieves my association in this very lifetime. For I am the Supreme Personality, the Absolute Truth. I repeat the translation. Thus, by engaging in the service of the Lord, thus by not engaging in the service of the modes of material nature, but by developing Krishna consciousness, knowledge in renunciation, and by practicing yoga, in which mind is always fixed in devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one achieves my association in this very lifetime. For I am the Supreme Personality, the Absolute Truth. Purport. When one engages in the devotional service unto the Lord in the 9 different kinds of bhakti yoga, as enunciated in the authoritative scriptures, such as hearing, Shravanam, chanting, Kirtanam, remembering, offering worship, praying, and offering personal service, either in one of them, or two, or three, or all of them, he naturally has no opportunity to engage in the service of the 3 modes of material nature. Unless one has good service, unless one has good engagements in spiritual service, it is not possible to get out of these attachments to the material service. Those who are not devotees, therefore, are interested in so-called humanitarian or philanthropic work, such as opening hospitals or charitable institution. Totally good works in the sense that they are pious activities, and the result is in the performer may have the opportunity for some sense gratification, either in this life or in the next. Devotional service, however, is beyond the boundary of sense gratification. It is completely spiritual activity. When one engages in the spiritual activity of devotional service, naturally one does not get any opportunity to engage in sense gratificatory activities. Krishna conscious activities are performed not blindly but with perfect understanding of the knowledge and renunciation. This kind of yoga practice, in which the mind is always fixed upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotion, results in liberation in this very lifetime. The person who performs such acts get in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya therefore approves the process from realized devotees about the pastimes of the Lord. It does not matter what category of world the audience belongs to. What category of this world the audience belongs. If one meekly or submissively hears about the activities of the Lord from a realized soul, he will be able to conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He will be able to conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unconquerable by any other process. Hearing or associating with devotees is a most important function for self-realization. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bhangam Langayate Girim Yatkripātamaham Vande Sri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna, am I clearly audible online?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So here in this source, Kapildev is speaking about how one can easily get out of this modes of material existence and get association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this very lifetime. So basically, everything in this metal world is made up of three modes: Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. Time, the association, the food, everything can be categorized into three modes of material nature. Based on what modes one associate with, based on the conditioning of the living entity, the association of the living entity also changes. And everything changes, like what he likes to eat, what he likes to, how he likes to work, everything changes. So here he's saying, like, by engaging in the service of thus not by engaging in service of the Buddha and developing Krishna consciousness, means like by just developing Krishna consciousness, means here's some water. Wow. By associating with Krishna, by not engaging three modes of nature, and by Rishan Anyatrachesha Tisha Ega Kala, means like just by engaging in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one automatically not only develops attraction to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when he develops attraction to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he will automatically develop renunciation to the material nature. Means, it is said that for one to liberate from the material existence, one has to have proper renunciation from this material existence, material conditionings. As long as one is attached to the sense gratificatory activities of this material world, one cannot get liberation. And getting rid of these sense gratificatory activities, one may actually, it is very difficult. Why? Because, for example, somebody who is in three modes of material nature, see, basically the living entity needs change, means Navanava Rasa, means always looks for newer and newer taste. Like, because that is the nature of the living entity, Anandamaya Vyasa. So that's why, like, somebody who is who is in three modes of material nature, what they think is just by engaging, like just by changing the modes of material nature, they feel that they are getting newer and newer rasas. For example, like somebody who is in Sattva Guna, like early in the morning he might be in Sattva Guna, but later on he will go into Rajoguna, and later in the night he will go into Tamoguna, and next day morning he will again come into Sattva Guna. So by doing so, he feels that, okay, I'm actually advancing so much. I'm actually advancing, I'm actually experiencing life. He thinks like that. That is the conditioning in the three modes of material nature. So, but he will not develop renunciation. Like, for example, somebody who was very much engaged in office work and maintaining family and going through the regular lifestyle, as soon as like if he wants to feel good about himself, he will engage in something like mode of goodness, like activities like giving charity or doing some voluntary service outside, which is not connected to Krishna consciousness. And it's these are all things are mm, uh, only to help him to make feel good, but they are not going to give any substantial spiritual advancement. But of course, Prabhupada says these are also good, but as long as one is properly engaged in Krishna consciousness, uh, they will attain. But when one is, they will they will attain higher results. For example, like so, for example, engaging in the charitable work, like Prabhupada says in purport, right? Opening hospitals and charitable institutions. These are all undoubtedly good. Why? Because everybody in this material world is self-centered. What is like always thinking like what is their inform? That is mode of passion. So from mode of passion, when comes into the mode of goodness, then like he will think, okay, I have so much, let me use something to others. Let me contribute something to the social welfare. That is mode of goodness. Of course, yes, mode of goodness will give good results. Like if we give, it is said that if we give 100 rupees, $100 in this lifetime to someone, you may get like like $100 in the next lifetime to you. Means whatever you give, you will get the same benefit. But when the same thing is utilized in a spiritual cause, then you will get like means like you do like as per the laws of nature, as you sow, so you reap. Means like how much ever you give, you get the same benefit. Means how much of pleasure, how much of materialistic charity that you may do, you will get the same benefit. But if the same thing is utilized in a spiritual cause, for example, if you want to distribute to give away food, then you first what you do as we do it as a service to Krishna. Like in India, in ISKCON also we do, right? Food for life. What we do, we first offer food to Krishna and then distribute prasad. That way it will become spiritualized. In the same way, when you want to do some charitable hospitals, like there are Bhaktivedanta hospitals in India, what they do is it is like normal hospital only, but they keep Krishna in the center. As soon as you enter into the hospital, you'll see the deity of Srila Prabhupada, and they have a temple dedicated, one room dedicated to Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, and every patient who comes in, they take darshan of them. They get the opportunity to take at least darshan of them, and and every day morning, like they have a small cart, Ratha cart. They actually send, they do mini Ratha Yatra. Means Ratha Yatra means not take Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra will not go onto the roads, but they will go and visit to every patient in the hospital. Like for example, somebody is in the bed. So from the temple room, they will, there is many Ratha. They will take the Jagannath Ratham to every person who is laying in there in the hospital. That way they get the opportunity to take darshan of the Lord, and also there will be constant kirtan going on, very mildly constant kirtan going on. And if and there is a spiritual care team. Just like there are nurses, doctors who will take care of our body, like regular checkup. They go on rounds, right? Like how the patient is doing, and they maintain the record. The same way, there is spiritual care team also. They goes to every bed and then they inquire about them. Like they preach, they try to preach. Now they ask, if you would like to read anything. We have some books also. You can read if you want, or would you like to like hear any lectures? And then they may provide some facility to hear the lectures like that, based on the interest of the patient. So there are like sometimes because this hospital gives good quality service at a better price. Even the patients from other religions, they come and admit here, and they are not forced to like okay, you are Christian or Muslim, you have to hear about Krishna only, not like that. So, and based on their comfort level, based on what they can take, the spiritual care team will give them assistance. Okay, you want to like even if not anything, they'll at least take some prasadam of Krishna. So that way, everything done in Krishna conscious, everything done as a charity, like giving, providing medical assistance or giving away food, or helping others, uh, that can be done as a service to Krishna. By doing so, one will be immediately comes out of modes of mental nature. Why they comes of modes of mental nature? Because of lack of selfishness. Here also in our temple also a lot of working professionals, they come and they do service, right? Like everybody has their own families outside, and they do, but they come and they give time and they humbly take the position. Like he might be doing like very high position outside, but when he comes to temple, he does mini service, vegetable cutting, pot washing, cleaning, all those things. So by doing so, like he will immediately brings himself out of modes of mental nature. So, like as previously said, one may change the modes of mental nature and feel the excitement, but the service in service for a spiritual cause, service to Krishna is way different from that. Why? Because not being self-centered, not being selfless, or like not being selfless, okay, not being selfish, okay. So now, if you observe now, like what Prabhupada says in this verse, how we can easily get associated with this, get associated or act in Krishna consciousness is very simple. Like just like other process, we don't have to renounce everything. Like especially the Ashtanga Yoga process, it demands a great deal of renunciation. Great deal of renunciation means whatever you are with, like you cannot remain in this material uh, disturbances and practice that yoga. You have to get out of this, and then you go into solitary place, and then practice silence and practice this yama, niyama, asana, all those ashtangas to achieve the success. But in the bhakti yoga process, whatever whatever we are in that, whatever we can engage everything and anything in Krishna service. That is the beauty of Krishna service, because everything belongs to Krishna. Everything is coming from Krishna. All we have to know is how to engage properly in Krishna consciousness. That's how we don't renounce everything. Like it says, proper knowledge of renunciation. Because renouncing something which can be engaged in Krishna service is called Falgu Vairagya. But renouncing the same, but engaging the same thing properly in Krishna consciousness with knowledge. With knowledge means like you should know how to utilize everything in Krishna service with proper utility is the principle. Means how to utilize everything in Krishna service. That guidance that we have to get from the advanced devotees or senior guru. So that's how, like, especially in Krishna consciousness, everybody, like, family member, children, women, old person, uh, or like working person, successful person, not so successful person, everybody can engage everything in Krishna service. So beauty of Krishna consciousness is there is no limit to what you can give, to how much higher and higher you can go, or how much simple you can be also. Like, it is said that Krishna sees what Krishna does, sees what is offered, but like, how much you have and how much you offer, like how much you held back with respect to time, money, and everything, abilities, all those things. So, so that's why it is very simple. And here in the Prabhupada again reiterates the Navaveda Bhakti, Shranam Kirtana Vishnu Swaranam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. And finally, he engages in, he highlights the process of Shravanam, because Shravanam is the basic step. Shravanam is the connecting link to us to Krishna. Means like, when we hear from the authoritative source, like when we hear from a bona fide spiritual master, then only we'll know how to engage everything proper in Krishna service, and then only we'll come to know. Because learning something by one's own experience is one way of learning. That is Aroha Panta. Avaroha Panta. Aroha Panta. Yeah. Means ascending process and descending process. So ascending process means you learn something and you climb one step ahead. So that's how you progress in spiritual life. But when the descending process means the knowledge comes from higher authority to us. So that is very, very practical and very convenient, because if you see in this material world also, nobody, if anybody wants to attain any knowledge, they will immediately go to some school or university and approach a professor and work from them. Or in job also, they get training from a professional. That's the process of descending knowledge. So when we hear from a bona fide spiritual master how to engage oneself in Krishna's service and how to get out of the material existence, and how to even like to know what is what to do and what not to do, like how we are not this body, spirit, soul. When we properly engage everything in Krishna's service, then our first step towards Krishna will begin. So and Lord Chaitanya approved this, like Prabhupada says, Lord Chaitanya therefore approved the process of hearing from a self-realized devotees about the pastimes of the Lord. It does not matter to what category of this world the audience belongs to. Means irrespective, like in the previous years, it is said that, right, if you want to get liberation, you should become a Brahmana. Then if you want to go back to Godhead, you have to attain a pure state, like that they say. But that purity can be achieved very easily by associating with devotees and just by hearing from them, irrespective of what background you have. So that's why if you see in outside temples, like if you want to become a Brahman, if you want to become a Brahman, you have to be born in a Brahmin family. But Prabhupada, on the contrary, he allowed Brahmin initiation to everybody. He allowed Brahmin initiation to Mata. He said, they can go onto the altar and worship. You don't see women pujaris in any temple. Yes, of course, yes. It is said in the spiritual world, gopis has a higher authority. Means women have the higher authority when it comes to Krishna service. So that way, Prabhupada has brought the process of Krishna consciousness to any level. A person can be at any level. Means like even when it comes to hippies, when it comes to drug addicts, when it comes to outcasts, especially in India, there are no limitations, like how one can get engaged. Like a devotee never judges any other person, like any other, like they have the compassion to give the knowledge of Krishna consciousness to anybody and everybody. That's how Prabhupada did. He stayed among the hippies and he gave that knowledge to them just by simply engaging that knowledge, simply by engaging Krishna service, by hearing, simple process of hearing, chanting, and associating, honoring prasadam, one becomes very much advanced in Krishna service. Yesterday morning, I was hearing about Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. His Holiness Raghunath Maharaj says about him. He said that the beauty of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj is he never judges anybody. Especially in America, we have some discrimination, right? Conservatives and liberals. Like somebody who is not following the regular path, like homosexuals, drug addicts, and all those things. He actually have the same respect and same compassion or same friendly nature to with them as he has with the devotees who are actually following four principles and very strict with their sadhana and seva. So that kind of nature one should have. That's why when glorifying the six Goswamis, Dhira Adhira Priyakaro means, Dhira means the devotees or who are self-controlled, who are expert in performing the devotion service. Adhira means who are very, very conditioned souls. One should know how to develop friendly nature with everybody, irrespective of what level they are in, with respect to Krishna consciousness. So that way, we become like real instruments in Krishna's hands in bringing this knowledge to everybody and everywhere and anywhere. So that is a mode of Srila Prabhupada. When we actually don't take up that and we start judging anyone on the material platform based on their qualification, immediately we actually take that, we actually make that souls away from Krishna. Because Krishna loves everyone and anybody, but at the same time, the discrimination is also required. We cannot associate with non-devotees and envious people. We should respect them, of course, yes, but we should know how to respect them from distance, and whom you can take association with and whom you can give your association. That way, we advance safely at the same time giving them. For example, somebody is infected with some very deadly disease. We don't go and hug that person, showing our compassion. We maintain safe distance and do the needful. Like Karuna taught us many ways of doing that, right? Be self-protective. Like what is the best way of being self-protective? Having regular association of devotees, having proper hearing and proper spiritual life, and then protect oneself first, and then try to help others. By doing so, we advance and also help others to take up Krishna consciousness. So that I would like to end here. If anybody have any questions, any comments.
Prabhuji, here it is said, right, that doing service by constantly thinking of Krishna. But most of the time, while cutting vegetables and while doing some services, at least speaking out myself, my mind will be somewhere else. I'll be thinking about something. I'll not think about Krishna and I'll do service. So that will not take me out of 3 modes for sure, right? So then how should I think about Krishna? Even if we put a kirtan, I'll not hear kirtan also. My mind will go somewhere else. So what can be done?
So it is said that The motive, Prabhu, the motive. Like for example, it is given, right? Like I think Prabhuji says when Krishna said to Arjuna to fight for him in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he's not taking every arrow and saying, remembering Krishna and then fighting. He was fully involved in the fighting. He was totally absorbed in the fighting only. So, but the motive, like even like the cotton might be like tons and tons of, like in the room full of cotton, but one simple spark can burn away everything. So the same way, if we actually be very careful, even at least why I'm doing, for whom I'm doing, or like associating in any manner is good. If you are able to remember Krishna doing the service, during the service, and also if you are able to hear properly, that's well and good. But if not, you are at least engaging in Krishna service. Your body is there, you are there as a person, you are engaging in Krishna service. That Krishna will take care. See, if you want to be nice to someone, you don't have to know like totally from, because we are conditioned souls. Knowingly, unknowingly, our mind will drift away. The controlling mind is very difficult. So being connected to Krishna in any manner, Krishna will take care of that. Because as soon as the service you are doing to Krishna, or that's why Krishna gives different levels in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, first thing is you have to dedicate your mind, your senses, and everything in, totally to me. But if you are not able to do that, you at least work for me.
Yeah.
Or if you are not able to do work for me, at least you give the fruits of your activities to me. That way, and finally, if you are not able to do anything, you come and associate with devotees who are doing that.
Yeah.
That way, you will get benefited. So when we are convinced, when we are convinced about the purpose of our service, purpose of our goal, the goal of our life, then automatically everything will be properly taken care. So that's why bhakti, for example, if you take Ashtanga Yoga process, the path is very strict. Shravanam Kirtan is, like path is very strict. Like you have to yama niyama, like all those things. There is no way of deviating from the path. But when it comes to Krishna consciousness, you can do any of the services. Siranam, Kirtam, Smaranam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam. All those things you can do. And it is very easy. Like that's why like Prabhupada has designed that our morning program so nicely that we engage everything, we get a benefit of everything. Somebody likes to dance, somebody likes just hear, somebody likes to speak, somebody likes to do kirtan. Somebody just he cannot do anything, he just sit there and he can meditate. So there are no hard and fast rules. As long as even the single aspect of Krishna consciousness is present, then it will actually immediately pull us out of this material existence, the modes of material nature, and it will give full benefit to us. Okay, makes sense, right?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Anybody have any questions online?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Jai Danot Pranal Ghosh Prabhupada, Bhaja Prabhu. One thing I like when you said, even in the Golok Vrindavan also, until unless you get, I mean not get, but the topmost devotees are girls.
Yes, Prabhu.
So that's a nice realization, because when we see Mataji, when we see Mataji serving here and there, sometimes we see why these ladies are here.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole ISKCON, I realized more Matajis attracted to ISKCON place, and they are more service oriented than the Prabhujis, and less criticized to others. That's what I realized, Prabhu.
That's true, Prabhu. Like even like there is no discrimination at all, because it is said that this entire ISKCON movement is serving not Krishna, serving Srimati Radharani. Like Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur said to Prabhupada, We are not the servants of Krishna. We are servants of Srimati Radharani. We like Krishna because Srimati Radharani likes Krishna. So that is, means that's why if you see, like if you go to Tirupati Balaji temple, Balaji will be giving abhayam, like abhayhasta, means the hand of assurance. But when it comes to ISKCON temple, Krishna will be playing on his foot and Srimati Radharani will be giving the assurance of like the abhayhasta. So that clearly says that whom we are serving. So Radharani protects us by through through Guru Parampara, by engaging in Krishna service properly. So there is no, like no, if you, especially in the in bhakti process, especially in the bhakti process, in order to develop this service attitude with humility, one has to develop this humble nature. So like there should be no way of judging, like even the kids also, even like Mata is also, irrespective of like who you are, what is your background. We should have this respectful nature. Amanina manadena. We should not expect any respect from others, but at the same time we should give them all respect. When we have that attitude, then only we'll be able to progress in devotional service. But as soon as one develops some kind of arrogance, some kind of materialistic ego, false ego, by identifying himself with no, I'm a man, I can do many things what other person cannot do, and the pride will destroy everything, because ultimately the Krishna is the source of every power. So when we realize that like no, I'm not the doer, Krishna is the doer, then we'll develop humility. Yes, bro, of course, yes. This is the only temple where we can see equal rights, like even like Matais can go to any level to be promoted to any level. They are temple president, they are pujaris, they are GBCs. So these are only that, as per my knowledge, that like organization where equal rights are given to everyone. Okay, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Anybody have any more questions?
Prabhuji, not a question, but I really liked the class today, and especially the points that you brought about association and how we should take the right association. And for that, the last point that you mentioned, it is important that we protect ourselves first so that we can do the right thing, like keeping our consciousness right by hearing, by staying in devotional atmosphere, doing the devotional activities. Then only we can give it to others, including our family, our friends, anybody. So that point was very nice, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mother. Okay. So we'll end it here. If anybody have any more questions or comments, you can take it. Okay. Anantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Purvaya Sri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Wonderful class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.